This is for the knee joint, and we're going to cover the anterior muscles of the quadricep. The word quadricep means four, and so in fitting, we have four muscles that we will be talking about: rectus femoris, vastus medialis, vastus intermedius, and vastus lateralis are the four muscles that make up the quadricep. They are located on the anterior thigh of the human body. The quadriceps are an incredible force, being that they are 25 to 35% stronger than our hamstrings, which is the opposing or antagonist group. The quadriceps are vital in us humans standing up from a seated position. So they do what's called extension of the knee. Extension of the knee is to stand up or to straighten or extend the knee joint. And that is one of their main actions and functions. They're also vital in jumping and squatting and lunging. But we use it daily to stand up. So not only do we use the hip, but we use the knees to extend as we stand. Another function that the quad does is what's called deceleration. And that means when we're coming to, if we were walking fast, jogging, or running, and we need to either slow down or we need to change direction, our quadriceps are responsible for helping us do that. And they do that through their eccentric contraction. And they are able to perform those decelerations that we need. So when we need to slow down, we count on our quadricep muscles. So let's learn a little bit more about each of the muscles. Let's start with location. From the last chapter in the hip, you will most likely remember rectus femoris. Rectus femoris is a superficial muscle. It's on the top of your thigh. And it is called a two-joint mover because it moves the hip, it performs flexion, and it also moves the knee joint in knee extension. So its actions are hip flexion, knee extension. It straightens that knee. Rectus femoris is a two-joint mover. It moves the hip, moves the knee. Its origin is going to be the iliac spine, which is generally in this location, as well as the acetabular groove. And then it rolls down. The patellar tendon starts. It inserts into the patella and tibial tuberosity. And so it's a very important muscle. Now I have removed, and I'm going to get ready for that next muscle. When we remove the rectus femoris, there is a muscle that is deep to it. And so that's going to be important for you to know as we get to that area. Our next muscle that I'd like to talk about is vastus medialis. Vastus medialis is located on the inferior but medial thigh. So it's still anterior, but it's to the medial side of that thigh. Vastus medialis. Its insertion is going to be behind the femur bone called linea aspera. So it would move to the back and catch that linea aspera groove as well as the condyloid ridge. So it really meets it all the way down the bone. And it inserts through the patella, patellar tendon, and its final insertion is going to be tibial tuberosity. Reminder that rectus femoris is the only quadricep muscle that is a two-joint mover. The rest of the vastus muscles are only a knee extensor. So the quad has quite a bit to do. So vastus medialis is going to be a knee extensor. Knee extensor. Now let's move to vastus lateralis. Vastus lateralis could be seen on the lateral side of the thigh. It's quite long, and it is the largest of all 4 of the quadricep muscles. And then onto this side, you can see iliotibial band. And on top, the iliotibial band resides on top of vastus lateralis, which is located on that lateral side. Vastus lateralis attaches to that greater trochanter on the side of your hip, as well as that linea aspera, so the whole line of the back side of the femur or the posterior. And then, of course, it catches that patellar tendon, attaches itself to the patella, and final insertion, tibial tuberosity. Its action, knee extension, knee extension. So the importance of the vastus lateralis to its opposite, which is the vastus medialis. So this is a long and strong muscle, but vastus medialis is our patellofemoral stabilizer. So it keeps this patella area in stability, in check. So the importance of the vastus medialis, making sure that it's strong, is going to be paramount. Finally, a deep muscle, so deep to rectus femoris, is going to be the start of vastus intermedius. Vastus intermedius. And this muscle is deep, it's underneath the rectus femoris with an attachment of the femur bone, and then in usual patellar tendon. It attaches to the patella, and tibial tuberosity. Its action, knee extension. So all 4 quads extend, and your vastus muscles, the 3 of those, they only extend at the knee. Rectus femoris also flexes at the hip.